So this is going to cause a little bit of disruption. So they might be a bit wet, but it doesn't really matter. I bought down 60 wide frames, brand new, and I think I've got 7 boxes. So time to get some wax on these frames. So I've got my little workstation set up here, got my boxes ready to go. I've got my wax embedder hooked up to the battery. I've got some foundation that I made a while ago. You might have seen that video. I'm not even sure if I posted it. Made these wax foundations and I just cut them in half just as a starter strip. I've got my boxes set up. Time to get into it. So pretty easy process to get this done. Grab a frame, slot the wax into the groove at the top of the frame, lay the frame down, get the wax embedder, heat up that wax, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Job done. Pop it in the box. So there we go, 1 box of frames. I'll get stuck into the rest of these now and be back with you very shortly. Now I just wanted to give you an idea of the type of wax that I'm using. I've actually made this foundation and it's pretty brittle. It's really, really thick. It's probably 3 millimeters, which is, what's that, like 2/8 of an inch? Yeah, so it's really, really quite thick. But I wanted to share with you something very, very cool. I'm very excited to showcase Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies Wax Foundation. I'm so excited, in fact, I forgot to film this little bit and I've already used the majority of it. Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies produce this wax in northern Sydney. It's not imported, 100% pure Australian wax. So let's get some of this Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies wax foundation into these frames. So it comes in all your sizes, ideal, full depth. So it's really strong too. It doesn't seem to be fragile like some of the other waxes, and especially the ones I've made myself. They always seem a little bit fragile. So it only needs 2 seconds to melt in. I usually use 3, but you can see there it's melting in quite nicely. So that wire is embedded perfectly into that wax foundation. So there we have it. Just look at the quality of those. Absolutely beautiful. Go and check them out. I came down last week and there was white comb in all the boxes. So I've just prepared 7 boxes. I haven't got my gloves. Let's see how this goes. I am not looking forward to it at all. So I'm going to kick off with this one here, the purple hive. Let's crack it open, smoke the absolute jeepers out of them and get a box on them. See, look at that. There's just an indicator of the nectar that's coming in, so I need to scratch this off somehow. This wax isn't coming off as good as I thought it would. Look at those tunnels that they've created. to get up into the roof. Oh, there we have it. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So excluder on and box on. Well, that actually went a lot better than I thought. Fingers crossed. The red hive. I don't like the red hive. They're really grumpy, but fingers crossed the red hive are as kind. Well, I can tell already that they've filled the roof up here. I knew this was going to happen. I was trying to get down here. Come on, little bee, get out of the road. Box on. Now, small concern for the potential queen in this upper box, but I also figure if that's what happens, that's what happens. So it's the 24th of May. We've got 6 days before we hit winter here in Australia. It's about 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. I've been leaving these boxes on top of these hives, just trying to grab the last of the autumn honey. So today's the day we take that honey off. It's not a lot, but it's some, and we pack these hives down for winter. Let's get into it. So this existing lid has served me really, really well over this season. I've had absolutely no problems with it. The colour bond is absolutely magnificent, really lovely in white. But today, we're going to be upgrading to the new cream lid. Now this new cream lid is colour bond material yet again. It comes with a protective coating, which we're now going to rip off here. So the great thing about this new style lid from Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies is that they've actually paint treated the internal surfaces. Now this lid has got a sandwich board inside of it for insulation. It's got a piece of marine ply internally as well, so it's fabulous for moisture. There's absolutely no problems in using this in some of the wettest conditions, but have a look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice piece of kit. So the great thing about this lid is now that I'm packing these guys down for winter, I know that they're going to have a great insulated lid on top of them. I'm actually going to take the old lid and put it on another hive purely because I just want these guys to have the absolute best chance of surviving winter, and this lid is going to provide it. So the first hive I'm going to take some honey off is going to be the white hive. Now this is actually the original white hive. So this queen is a few years old, and I also think she probably needs an upgraded lid. So the Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies lid that I took off the Hornsby hive will now go on here. So this upper box has absolutely zero in it except for one frame with a tiny amount of honey in it. The rest of these frames are just empty. Oh, there's a little bit of honey there. So this box has to definitely come off, and these two frames, because they've got these marks across here, which means that I've fed when I've had these frames in. So this box will be coming home with me today. So I'm just simply going to take it off, give it a good shake. That's got rid of all the bees inside. So this next box here looks like the majority of it is packed full of honey, and we've got one frame here, 2 frames, 3 frames that I've fed on, and the rest of the frames Looks like that one's been fed on as well. So we've got 1, 2, looks like 3. No, that's been fed. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 frames that we can harvest. But before we harvest that honey, I'm going to take this box off and make sure that the bees have got plenty of stores down below. Now before I get too far into this nest, I think because that box has only got 3 frames of actual honey in it, I think what I'll do with these bees is just simply take the queen excluder out and they can overwinter as a double. And you can see there, a fair bit of pollen, but the majority of that is honey. So I'll pop that frame aside, just down between these 2 hives. Let's pop into the centre of this nest and see how they are faring. Beautiful. So really happy there. Really, really nice brood. Plenty of stores. And they look like happy bees. So I don't need to look in this hive anymore. The other side has got really, really nice brood. So let's pack them up. So they can lose their queen excluder. And we'll just go box on box. We'll also put all their mats back on. And as an added bonus, they get the original Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies lid. Original hive, got to look after them. So the next hive we'll be looking at will be this triple high. Now, I did think that this was one of the white hive genetics, but it's actually not. So I can't remember which hive this was. There was a point when I had all my hives colour coded, and just moving boxes around over a couple of seasons, I sort of got a little bit out of whack. So let's jump in, see what they've got for us. So there must be a reason there's 3 boxes high here. I hope that wind isn't getting you guys too much. So top box, full of honey. That wind's really, really picked up now, you can probably tell. So this top box here is absolutely chock-a-block full of honey, and this has been no feeding over the course of the year. So while I'm getting into this hive, I'm going to clean it up because this one will be coming home. Let's pop a middle frame out. This is the fattest comb. Actually, I probably shouldn't pop that one out. Let's pop another one out. So a little bit of honey on that frame. Really lovely looking comb. So I'm going to brush this comb off near the car, pop it into a new box so I can take it home. We'll have a quick squeeze in the centre just to make sure we're good to go. Oh yeah, look at that. Just beautiful. So you can see on this box here, you can see these lines that go across here, and that is where I've scored them when I've fed. So this box will be staying on this hive. Luckily the wind's died down enough that I can take my dead cat off my microphone because the bees are just hammering it. So I just popped open Ligurian bees and full of honey in the top box, and I've fed them, but this is brand new comb. And then we've got frames and frames of brood. So this hive, I'm happy to say, is good to go. I'm having a few problems at the moment with the bees on the windbreaker on the microphone, so I apologise. So the last time I looked into this hive, I believe there was a full box of honey, and it looks like there's probably a full box of honey again. Now you might notice this couple of frames have got a few marks on them, but none of this had any sugar fed into it. So this is all harvestable honey. So really, really nice frames. You can see how fresh this is, and I haven't fed for probably, maybe 4 or 5 weeks now, I think. So this will be coming home with me. Okay, so let's have a look in this hive. Let's so gently, we can see there's enough stores in this hive, but do they have enough brood? Oh. So instantly we can see that this is a very, very good brood nest, and the amount of bees in this hive will get them through winter. So based on this one frame, I think this hive's ready to be packed down. So let's get these guys all packed up. Oh, there is a queen cup over here. That's alright. They're quite angry at the moment. I don't know if you can tell. Ow, 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 ow. They are really going for me. Oh, look at that. Oh, and they're getting me too. Oh. Just have a look at them. Ow, 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 ow. Some of them are getting in. Oh, some of them are getting in. Oh, oh, that guy right there is getting in. Yowza! They sting him like nothing else. Ooh. Oh, it hurts so much. You can see I've got this one taped, and that's only because the elastic's a little bit loose. Oh, that hurts so much. Oh. I think it's time to get these ones closed up. It's funny because I've only got 2 hives to go, this one here and that one there, but that last one has absolutely cooked me. So I've been utilising this white hive mainly to look after some comb, look after some honey that I've pulled from other hives. So this hive has got a mixture of empty frames and also a mixture of, and from memory it's got almost 2 boxes. So let's check out these frames and get them in the car. So I'm fighting a little bit of a losing battle at the moment. The wind is blustery to say the least, and I have this little fluffy thing which stops the wind noise, but as you can see the bees are just murdering it. So unfortunately it's either wind or bees, and we all know how loud bees can be, and you can see here, like I can talk into this microphone and you can hear me quite well, but if I put this on top of it you can't hear anything. So we're going to lose this and have to put up with the wind. There's a couple of empty frames in the box. Oh, I'll drop my hive tool. One final frame. So then I can get rid of this box, which really obviously wasn't doing anything. So before I actually take this box home, I'm going to just double check this bottom brood nest and see how they're going. I can sort of feel a bit more of a chill in the air, and I think that's why the bees are getting a little bit more agitated. I'm trying to keep the smoke up to them, but it's not necessarily working. So I can see in this box that there's a lot of honey. So let's pop a second frame out. The first frame's quite wide, so I want to avoid that one. Okay, so stores. That's all pollen there, and we've got honey through there. So that's really, really nice. Look at that. So that's a healthy looking frame. Similar on the other side. And that next frame has got similar, less pollen. And then over here we've got an open frame. So let's pop that out and have a look. So there you go. So there's our brood nest. Really cool. On both sides, and there's our queen. I don't know if you spotted her. She's got a white dot. No, she's gone back through. She doesn't like to be seen. So I'm just going to revert to shaking this in there and then double checking. So no queen, that's really good. So then put this frame here, slide it across this way, and then put this frame back in. So here we are, final hive, end of the year, the white hive, the monster hive. Let's get into it, check out how they're going, and get them packed down. Okay, let's see how they're going. I've got a pretty good feeling we've got 2 boxes of honey on these guys. It's just stacked up there. So I think most of these frames are all honey. Just going to have a quick look at this outside frame. Yep, all honey. So I'm going to take this box off, take it to the car, and take it home. Okay, so next box in is exactly the same, complete full box of honey. So this one will be coming off as well. This will be the first year that I overwinter the White Hive original as one box. But before I take it off, I want to make sure that we've got a substantial amount of honey down in this bottom box. So let's check it out. Oh! So as usual, they're doing really well. This will be the last season for my smoker. This thing is absolutely cooked. I don't know if you can tell, but the bottom of this smoker is all burned out. It's been sucking a little bit of flamage back through the hole, and that's chewed holes through the bottom of it. So that and the fact that it's got holes in it from when I light it with the gas torch, the lid's cooked. I think it's time to retire this smoker. So let's have a quick look at this very outside frame. I mean, there is a potential that this hive is full of brood. Actually, that's scraping the absolute out of the side of it. So I'm not going to take that frame out. So here's a new frame I put in 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that's all honey. A little bit of brood. Oh, actually, no, it's not brood, it's pollen. It's a really, really nice wet pollen. Lots of nutrients in this hive. So I'll put that aside. So like all the other hives, they've got a fair bit of honey in the bottom box. And you know, you look at this frame here, that's all brood. And on the other side, all brood as well. So they've got that pollen set up right next to that brood, which is exactly where they need it. So I have no problem packing these guys down into one box, because I imagine this frame out here is probably, I imagine, brood on this side and honey on this side. Sorry about the bees, they're really copping it. Oh, look at that. So plenty of brood. Look at all those winter bees ready to go. So I think time to pack these bees up, pop this honey into the car and get on the road. So welcome back to Aussie Beekeeping and the 2025 season. It's the 14th of September, it's about 16 degrees or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Time to get into these bees and find out how they all went over winter. Now before we do that, I just want to quickly mention the lack of videos. I had a bit of an issue with files. I lost a lot of video. I'm trying to piece together something, but right now, let's get into these hives and see how they went over winter, which hives survived and which hives didn't. Let's go. I also just picked myself up a brand new smoker. This is a sparkless smoker, so it has a section between the main chamber and the bellows that's actually protected, sort of acts like a baffle, stops all the sparks flying out of there. So let's get this bad boy lit and get into the bees. I'm actually going to add in a little bit of cardboard. Apparently all the beekeepers are doing that now. So why wouldn't I join in? Just get that lit up. You can just hear the flames in that. There's always plenty of dry gum leaves around. Overestimated, of course. Well, this smoker's going to live a pretty tough life in this bee yard, so might as well kick it off the way it's going to live. Good to go. So the first two hives we're going to get into are the old rescue hives, now known as the Phoenix hives. Let's check out the one on the left first and see how it's going. Plenty of traffic at the door. Lid's a little bit skew-if. Now I actually came down here about 2 weeks ago and I put pollen patties on all of my hives. Now I didn't inspect them, I didn't go through them, so let's check these guys out and see how they're going. Oh wow. They seem pretty calm, which is good. Wow. I think they've eaten that whole pollen patty that I put on. That's pretty formidable effort. Now the first thing I'm actually going to do with most of my hives, so I'm actually going to see if there's any swarm cells. So it's pretty obvious no swarm cells, but that pollen sub has brought in the small hive beetles and their larvae are living below in a pool of sludge. So I'll get that cleaned out really quickly. So I'll just take this box off, sit it aside. Wow, that's a bit gross, isn't it? A lot of dead larvae and stuff down the bottom there. Okay, so that's cleaned up. Let's put this box back on. Alright, so let's pull a couple of frames. See how we go. So looking at it now, there's actually not an enormous amount of bees in here. So very outside frame. That's just honey, but not a lot of bees. I'll pop that one aside. So next frame in. So it looks like it's pretty empty. There's nothing in those cells. Oh, actually, so there are really nice eggs in those cells. That's funny. It looks like there's swarm their eggs in those cells. So we'll pop that frame back in. Let's go into this next frame here. Okay, good. So we've got larvae and we've got capped brood. Not much of a nest, a little bit of chalk brood around the outside. And on the other side, looks like about the same. So still a little bit of chalk brood in here, which is a little bit disappointing. So I'll pop that frame back in. Hopefully there's a little bit more build in this next frame, a little bit more solid brood. Oh, that's a bit better. I am looking out for the queen. So a really nice section of capped brood. Plenty of capped honey there as well. Yeah, that's a bit better. There's still a few perforated cells here and there. And there's a lot clustered together as well. So probably just need to get some of these frames swapped out. Got issues with this hive late in the year last year, so anyway, good to see that they're doing really well. Would really like to have seen more capped brood, unfortunately. So this is a bit better. So this is newer, fresher brood. You can see it's a bit more yellow around the edge there. So that's good. Looking out for the queen. Just looking for those little telltale signs. A little bit of, movement that's different to the rest of the bees. So these bees will sort of mill around back and forwards, where a queen will have a little bit more of a purposeful wander around the frame. Let's see if we can't see her here. Doesn't look like it. But yeah, again, there's a few perforated cells, which at this time of the year is a bit concerning. I really should be building up a bit better. Alright, so we do have eggs, that's the main thing. Queen wise, haven't seen her yet. Right, so next frame, this is pollen and eggs as well, so she's actually laid out this section here. Keep an eye out for her, see if you guys can spot her at home. And on this other side, so there's eggs and larvae through there as well, which is really cool. But yeah, it looks really good. So I'll pop that one back in, we'll have a look at this outside frame. So this is just mainly capped honey at the top there. They're very deep cells because they're old honey cells. You can sort of see how far this comb sticks out from the edge of the frame there. So she has a little bit of room, so I'm not too worried about that. Maybe they need a little bit of food actually just to flush them out. Close them up. Okay, so second of these hives. So this is that hive that's got that dodgy frame in it. So you can see the last of that pollen sub that I put on. Let's get in here, have a bit of a look. Fingers crossed. It smells very damp, like mildewy. So nothing really happening there, just bees. Same on that side. So I might quickly just pop that frame back in and lift this box up and have a bit of a look. Oh wow. So almost identical to that hive next door. So a bit of moisture, a bit of pollen. Hasn't done the greatest for these bees. So I'm going to clean this one out quickly. Get that box off. I'm just going to shake these bees at the front of the hive first. Yuck, a lot of stuff. And then scrape it out. That smells absolutely disgusting. Let's have a look a couple of frames in from where we looked at before. Oh, nice. So there we go. Nice little patch of brood. And plenty of eggs around the outside of that as well. Other side of the frame, same. That little larvae down there. Alright, I might leave that frame out just for a second, just while we have a look at the rest of this hive. So here we have, this is an empty frame that I put in last year. They're doing alright there, so plenty of brood. Eggs come out to around about here, so she isn't going wild with her laying. I would have expected it was probably ramped up a little bit more by now. Dodgy crooked frame, remnants of the original hive. So really old comb, dark comb. But when you look at this, now there's a little bit of brood in there, a little bit of chalk brood or something. They've opened up one of those cells. And similar on this side. It's an ordinary brood, but they're moving forward, which is good, not moving backwards. Alright, so pop that one back in. That frame is going to come out at some point this year. I'm just trying to find a time when they're stronger than just that single frame. So all these cells are all empty. And similarly here as well. That's a bit disappointing. We'll get that frame back in. So I'm just not even going to look any further in this hive because I can imagine there's nothing past that frame that we've just looked at. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide these frames over gently. Pop this frame back in, and I think I'm going to give them a feed as well. Rightio. So the next two hives we're going to be looking at is the Hornsby hive on the left hand side. These are the Italians, and also the original white hive over here. Now both these hives have got lids from Hornsby Beekeeping. This one's been on for about 2 seasons, and this one here I put on just before winter in one of my other failed videos. By all means, check out Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies. They've got some really great products. Let's get into the Hornsby hive and check it out. Ooh, lots of little bees. Look at those. A little bit of comb stuck down the side here, so maybe I'm going to push this across this way. Go for this second frame in. Looks pretty good. So many bees. Oh, heavy frame too. So that's all just bees, no brood. Let me just have a quick close look at that. Nope, so no eggs. I'll pop this frame aside. Come on little bees, off you go. Well, that's really cool, isn't it? Lots of bees and some really nice brood in amongst there as well. And other side, cool. So brood, a little bit of a practice queen cup here, just a practice cup. So you can see in there, really juicy larvae, eggs. A little bit older larvae, and in the centre of the frame, really nice brood. So we'll get that frame back in. Pretty happy with where these bees are. So again, lots and lots of bees, lots of young bees as well, which is really nice. Plenty of brood, plenty of eggs. Same deal on that side. Lots of really nice brood. Well, not lots, but a fair bit. Big gust of wind's about to come on us. Might be able to hear that. You can hear it coming from miles away. Next frame. So again, lots of brood. Haven't seen a lot of capped honey in this hive, which is a bit of an issue, so I might have to give them a feed as well. I haven't seen the queen. They've certainly got a lot of brood. I don't think I'd put a box on them just yet. Then have a look at this outside frame. Just starting to get a little bit of flight here. You can probably hear that on the microphone. So I'll give them a few little puffs of smoke. Really light, this frame. So just a little bit of pollen. That's about it. And I haven't seen the queen. I would like to see the queen in this hive, but we know we've got eggs. So it's got room, that's a good thing. They haven't got much food from what I've seen. So this frame again is really, really light. Nothing happening in that frame. And I think if this isn't solid honey, I think I'm going to give them food. Yeah, no, this is... So you can see that was once full of honey and they've eaten it. So they need some food. So you can see there how they're uncapping that honey. If I just move them out of the way. You can see how they're uncapping and tearing those cappings. So they're eating the stores around the edge. Lots of bums. See how they're collecting around the edge there. That'll keep them happy. Now, if anyone's wondering why I have tape around one of my wrists, it's because I was very, very heavy-handed taking off my bee suit one day, and instead of me opening up the Velcro and taking my hand out, I tore my hand out and I actually ripped the stitching in here. So the stitching gave way before the Velcro. That just shows you exactly. And it was just purely me being rough. Great suits, love them to bits. I've just got to sew that up. All right, let's have a look in the top box of this White Hive original. It seems really actually quite quiet at the front entrance, so a little bit concerned. A few dead bees up the top here, but I think they may have been there for a while. Let's find out. Well, we've got bees at the top. That's the main thing. And we've got bees in the top box. That's really cool. So lots of honey up the top. And this is all fed honey. You can tell by these lines that I have in the frames. When I feed, I put lines through. Now I haven't put lines in those 2-3 hives that I've fed already because they've already got lines in them. So let's see what this hive has to offer. Oh goodness. So it's stuck to the box below by the feels of things. Ooh. So lots and lots of honey. That's fabulous. And pretty dark too. You can just see how dark that honey is. So that's partial feed, but a lot of it foraged. So I'll pop that one aside. See if we can't find a bit of brood in this top box. I'd imagine centre frame is probably going to be a little bit of brood here. Ooh. Yep. Look at that. A few practice cups. Nice. Oh, is that wet? No. Nice freshy sort of comb and fresh cappings, so they're bringing in nectar. Same on that side there. So a few drone cells here and there. Oh goodness. So that's all been laid out. And so is that sign. So that top box looks pretty good. I'm not worried about it at all. It looks like there's even some more brood on this frame here, which we didn't take out. Well, that's heavy. So that's cool. So I think what I'm going to do, put that back together. Put that other frame back in. Oh, bugger. Didn't mean to scrape that honey like that. So good functioning hive. Now let's see if I can't get this box off. It's really interesting that there's not a lot of action in this hive, and it's a warm day today. I'm going to pop the bottom first, have a look at the bottom of this hive. Actually, no I'm not. It'd be problematic, they're already a bit grumpy. You can probably hear them starting to pick up buzzing. Alright. So look at that, that's a lot of brood, isn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting close to swarming with this hive, because this lower box is chock-a-block with eggs and larvae. So really just that whole frame. Maybe I will look at the bottom box. It's very patchy, but it seems to be laid out in between, so I'm not concerned about that. Let's have a look at this bottom of this box. Whoa, my goodness, I'm just going to have to move this camera. So what do you think? I think these guys need a box. So I'm just going to smoke the bottom of these frames and see if I can't see any queen cups, swarm cells. Well, it doesn't look like it, but I think I'm certainly right at the limit. So this hive's definitely going to need a box. So you can just see the difference between the different hives. This year I'm making a change with my queens. I'm going to get rid of all those queens that are non-performing, and I'm going to stick with black bees just like this, because why wouldn't you? So I bought a heap of gear with me today, so I'll grab a box, chuck it on. So I've got this box. I made this box up end of last season. These are Hornsby beekeeping supply frames. Absolutely spectacular quality. And what you'll notice is I've got half wax foundation there. Now this is the wax that I made. And Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies actually gave me a box of their own wax. And just look at the absolute quality of this wax. So Hornsby Beekeeping Supplies wax on Hornsby Beekeeping Supply frames. So I'm going to pop this box on, brand new foundation, brand new frames. What? Brand new frames? Spread them out a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to pack them up nice and tight. That'll become our new brood nest. And then I'm also going to put on the original box. So there we have the difference between the Italians and the bush black bees. One's 3 boxes high, yet to fill out the middle obviously, and one's struggling being fed. So anyway, let's move on to the next hives, and the next 4 hives we're going to look at are these 4. let's get into the purple hive and see how it went over the winter. Wow, lots of bees up above the excluder. And it looks like there's comb up above that as well. I know, this is actually the pollen sub, the lump, because I put the excluder back on. That's okay. Shake those bees off. Oi! Didn't mean to do that. So pollen sub, they're still working through the last of that. So all these hives had a complete piece of pollen sub just like that. So really not a lot happening there. Bit of debris in the bottom of the hive. That's alright though, nothing terrible. Anyway. So we've got pollen, probably that sub. And that's about it happening in that second frame. Other side, relatively light. And you can see the bees here eating away at this edge of this honey. So it's probably going to be uncapped. Yes, it is. So they're stripping this honey out of the hive. So they need food. And they will absolutely need food because this next frame is absolutely chock-a-block full of brood. And on that other side, and on the other side, similar thing. So that's a really beautiful little patch of brood there. It's got a bit of symmetry to it. Looks like that queen is working her way around. A little bit of larvae in amongst some of those cells as well. So cool. So they probably need, probably don't need a box right now, but they're going to need one soon. Oh, maybe they do. So another nice little frame of brood. So we've got two solid frames. Really nice, look at that. It's really nice to see that in the springtime, but that's going to mean they need nutrients to feed all those bees. Next frame in, similar deal. Now I haven't seen any of the queens as yet today, which is a little bit disappointing. Who doesn't love to see a queen? That's sort of the last of the brood nest. It's getting a little bit smaller. So then this must be sort of a lot of honey and nectar, I imagine. Yep, a bit of honey. Probably a little bit more brood here. That's all just pollen in there, so... Alright. How much food have they got? Got a couple of frames here. They haven't eaten their way through. So I think bee amounts of bees is probably not enough bees in here to put a box on. I think I'm going to feed them, and I'm also going to put that pollen sub back on. That'll just keep them going. So there's their bag of syrup. Cut that open. Pop the lid back on. Now historically the red hive has always been a little bit grumpy, so being that the wind's up a little bit and it started to chill off, I imagine it's going to be the same as usual. Colony of ants have moved in at the top of that hive. Okay, so still working their way through that pollen. So now you get a really good idea of how much pollen went onto these hives 3 weeks ago. But I just basically opened them up, plonked it on and closed them. So really not much happening there. Just a little bit of honey. You can see here they're eating the edge of that honey there, which again, that'll be, cappings are broken, so they're looking for food. And we start getting into the good stuff. Because I just had a little peek down the side of this frame. And that is a ripper. And on the other side, so really nice brood and plenty of eggs. There we've got a beautiful little egg all ready to go. And that's a clean cup that I broke open, nothing inside of it. Plenty of larvae, plenty of eggs, and plenty of bees. So I'll pop that frame back in. Looks really, really good. I might just quickly strip this pollen sub off. Oh, I've managed to squish a few bees in that pollen sub. Sorry, bees. With a bit more of a look in here. Let's jump a few frames over. Let's have a look at these frames, which look like I put them in at the last minute last year. So cool. So a lot of that's been laid out and we've got some fresh brood. So this is the start of the spring laying, which is pretty cool. A little bit of glistening brood in there. So there's our beautiful capped brood. And as we come down here you can see, just look at that brood. Beautiful, nice and juicy. And I think if we go along here, somewhere there are some eggs. The eggs are up the top here. Really cool. Look at that. Look at those eggs. Beautiful. And if you watch carefully, you'll probably see that larvae moving. Alright, so it's relatively tiny brood nest sort of over here. I don't think it extends onto this frame here. And then what have we got here? So this is like the balance of the brood nest. Probably got a bit of honey on it. Oh, there we go. So we've got honey. We've got a good little bit of nectar. Sorry. Pollen around there. So they're building, but they're a little bit slow, aren't they? So this outside frame has probably been stripped of all its goodness. Oh no, it's a little bit of weight in it, but not a lot. So what do these guys need? These guys need me to put that frame back in, which I think is back in here. And I think they need some food. So I'll pop that frame back in and plonk the lid on. So the next one we're going to look at is the White Hive 2. So original White Hive we looked at just before. This is the first split we made off it. I think there was some swarm cells from memory. And then the one we're going to have a look at probably last today will be the White Hive 3. And they're the genetics that I'm actually going to fill this apiary with this year. I just find that they do a lot better. As you can see. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of comb off this top frame here. So I'll have a look at this centre frame and then I will tip the box up, have a bit of a look, see what's happening in the bottom. Do we think brood? Oh goodness. We do think brood. And a lot of drone cells too. So this is all drone comb here, it's all drone comb here. You can see there's drones there. Might be indicative. And this side, oh, there's our queen. So there's our queen looking for somewhere to lay. Busy, busy. You might even see an egg come out of the back of her while she's trying to find a spot. Sorry about the wind. That one might be a pretty good contender, is it? Let's find out. So good to see a queen finally. So just so I can manipulate the hive a little bit easier, I'm just going to see if I can't catch her in this little queen clip. Put her aside and then I can sort of manipulate. But you can see just how desperate she is to find somewhere to lay. Alright, let's see if we can't get her in here. Come on. Oh, get out. Very, very determined. The reason I want to catch her so bad is I want to uncap some of this drone brood. Okay, so I finally got her in to that cage. Phew, that took a while, didn't it? So I'll just put her over here in the sun. She's nice and safe. Alright, so it didn't look like there's any varroa in those bits of brood that I uncapped. So I'll put that frame back in. Wow, look at that. So she's doing a fabulous job. Really, really fabulous job. So underside of that box looks pretty good. I can't see any queen cells. Let's have a look in this bottom box now. A lot of bees in the air. They're not all over me. They're certainly on the microphone. You can just sort of tell the way these frames move that they're very light. So they've probably moved up to the top box. Yeah, so not a lot happening there. A little bit of drone brood. And again, a bit of drone brood there. Really knocked that queen off, didn't I? Zilch. I was about to say there's nothing happening in this bottom box. Alright, so I might put a box in between these two boxes. So she has just laid that one frame out in that bottom box. Oh goodness, goodness. That was risky. What am I going to do? I think what I'll do is I think I'm just going to let her go. Here she comes. She's being guided by her bee friends. There she goes, down in between the frames. you want to pick up one of these brand new t-shirts or even one of these fantastic stickers, pop on over to stinghoney.com.au. Okay, so now we're going to check out the last 4 hives. Start off with the orange hive. Looks really quite quiet in here. There are bees. We go over this other side here. You can see there are bees. Well, that's good. Get this frame out. A lot of bees actually. When you look down in the side of these frames, actually I might just get rid of these couple little bits of dags here because they will strip those bees off. Well, that doesn't look too bad, does it? Look at that larvae. Eggs. And on the other side, same. Look at that big fat drone there. So, not a bad frame to start off with. Obviously we all want to see sheets and sheets of brood, but unless it's a brand new comb, it's pretty unrealistic to expect that. Wow! That's not bad. A few drones, which is not concerning, but it's, you know, is what it is. Well, this is better. So look, that's good brood. It's just a practice cut by the looks of things. Other side of this frame. Oh yeah, cool. Lots of bees, so they're going to need a box. They're just going to need a box purely because the amount of bees on this frame. Look at them. Actually, I might shake this frame off, get a better look. There you go. So that's a pretty nice little brood frame there. No eggs as such in between. So I think I'm just going to put a box on these guys. Even more brood, yeah, so they've got a fair chunk of brood. Yeah, another frame. Wow, look at that, another frame of brood. Definitely need a box. I'm surprised there aren't swarm cells, but there's a little bit of room over on this side of the hive, I think. A few bees on the outside here. Bees on the outside, just want to make sure we get those guys up in the box. The main reason is just in case the queens are... Right, we'll have a box for them. So this is the next hive we're going to look at. This one's been very weak over the last year. I think from memory, they only had like 3 frames of brood or 4 frames of brood when they went into winter. And you can see there's a lot of junk at the front door. So let's pop them open and see what we find. Oh, I'm surprised. I really thought this hive was going to be borderline dead. But they've smashed that pollen sub. Oh, that's heavy. Oh wow, I must have dumped that in there. Because these bees were definitely weak when I went into them before winter. And now, I think when I took the honey off the white hives, 3, So the one next to this, I think I dumped it all on this hive because I really didn't have much. Ooh, brood. Ooh. Oh no, that's just a chunk. It looks like a cell, but that's just a chunk. Phew. So good brood. That's nice. Good brood on that side as well. All the hives are doing really well. And yes, I did say that like a question because that's really weird. To come out of winter and so far we've got 0 losses. Oh, next frame. That's good. So a few little practice cups here. Nothing in them. It's just that overhanging comb again. Bit of drone brood. So they could do with a box, I'm tipping. What's all this stuff down here? Here comes a blast of wind. Yeah, nice. So all these frames have got some weight in them too, so they've got a fair bit of honey. Alright, brood. Okay, so here we go. So right there we've got larvae. It looks like eggs as well. So this hive's queen right. Okay, so another queen right colony, weight wise. Oh yeah, they've got heaps. So I'm just going to put a box on them. Isn't that weird? That, like looking at the front entrance, I could have sworn this was going to be an issue. But there are a lot of bees, and it's getting a bit cooler in the afternoon as well. It's about 2 or 3 o'clock, I think. Alright, time to look in the white hive 3. Oh, look at all those bees. Guarantee they need a box. The problem with this hive is that the bottom of the box is nailed on, so you can't actually like lift it up and have a look. But let's see, there we go. I'm going to have to look at all these frames. So outside frame. Look at that, beautiful honey. It smells good, this hive. So they've eaten all those stores. Let's pop that one aside. So nothing really happening there. It's disappointing. A little bit of room in the hive, that's good. It looks like old honey, a little bit torn and frayed around the edges, so they've been eating that. Here we go. Look at that, I tore that frame away. Brood. And good brood. Such a beautiful queen, this one. I mean, all these genetics, this is why these are the bees I'm having in my yard this year. Because last year I didn't feed them. Look at that brood. It's just a beautiful patch of brood. And again, another great frame of brood. Looks like pollen in between. Doesn't look like any larvae. And on this side, really, really nice patch. Now to keep an eye out for the queen, but this queen tends to duck and weave. I can't remember if I marked her last year. I don't think I did. Another big gust of wind coming in behind me in the trees. There we go. So we've got larvae, eggs, and of course cat brood. Same on that side. So I think they definitely need a box. is we've got some sheets of brood in this one. There's another good frame, bit of drone comb, and I think that's only because you can see the cell size changes from honey to brood to maybe big honey, maybe drone. Oh, lots of drone comb on that side. Lots of bees too. Rightio, next one. There's no swarm cells, so that's good. But here we've got even more brood and larvae. That's beautiful. I'll pop that one in. And then last frame, so no swarm cells, which is really cool. Last frame is honey on the outside, honey on this side. So I'm just going to put a box on it. Everything else is pretty cool. So last hive of the bunch. This is the last split I made off the white hive. I think they had an enormous amount of queen cells. We dumped them in here. They went quite good at the end of the year. Let's check them out and see how they're going. All right, let's go. Ooh. So we've got bees on here. So we've got bees, that's the main thing. I think from memory, like most of the honey that was feed, so these ones have all got the line on them. Most of the feed that I stripped off the other hives that had like 1 or 2 frames, I think I put it on this hive here. So this will be pretty scrappy at the top, I imagine. Yeah, not a lot happening. Pretty light. No eggs or larvae. Same on that side. Next frame over. Ooh, a bit more weight, so they're still eating their way through that. And that's actually got some fresh honey in it. So that's weird. And again, really nothing happening there. So I'll rip this top box off, suss out the one below. Okay, so let's delve straight into the guts here. Doesn't look like they're enormous. Maybe they had a little bit too much room over winter. Oh wow, okay, that's cool. Okay, so we've got brood, eggs, and larvae. And on the other side, same thing. So I'll pop that frame aside. Check out this next one. Oh, look at that. That's a ripper. Lots and lots of cat brood. Really cool. So next one, this looks like a pretty new frame. Ooh, look what happens when you put a new frame into a new hive. Really beautiful. Lovely. Look at that in the sun. It's just magnificent. And similar on the other side. So that second last frame, there's not a lot going on there. Not a lot of stores. They've got enough food and they've got a lot of brood. So I think they're probably okay. I don't have another box, so there is nothing I can do for this hive apart from maybe feed them, but I don't really want to because of the amount of food they've already got. So I'm pretty happy. I think that's all in all really good. So there you have it, guys. What a great inspection. Really strong hives, absolutely no losses. Thanks for watching and welcome to the 2025 beekeeping season.